The Rams win in a crazy one. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show as the Rams outlast, and I do mean outlast, Eastern Hills 36-33 in overtime as Ruben Velasquez kicks the 41-yard game-winning kick. And, man, that in of itself is a thrilling ending, but the game just doesn't even describe it as the Rams jump up 14-6. Then at one point, they get down 33-17. Then they make a furious comeback, tie it up with a game-tying two-point conversion with less than 2 minutes to play. And then in overtime, the defense holds, the offense gets the field goal, and the Rams go to 2-1 in one of the craziest games that I have seen in a while. And, hey, man, just the resiliency of this team. And, we've already talked about it. And if you're a Rams fan, the injuries have been a big issue here early in 2025. And this game was almost a microcosm of what this team is now. A team that you might knock down for a little bit, but they're going to continue to get back up. And the Rams got back up, and, man, just one of the classic wins. That's one of those that people will be talking about for years from now. And it feels good to get a win. It also feels good to talk about our sponsor, Jack Powell Ford. Find him online at jackpowellford.com. You can also go into the dealership at 1418 Southeast 1st Street. If you want a pre-owned, if you want something brand new, if you need parts, service, anything like that, Jack Powell Ford's the one to go. And the great thing is, and I keep saying this, you can go online, you can get pre-financed, you can find a car you want, you can select it, and then you can go check it out in person and see if that's the one you want. Instead of having to go to the dealership and be there for 8 hours getting a car when you just want to pick your car out and you just want to go home. Jack Powell Ford will take care of that for you. And we do appreciate them for being a sponsor here on the Mineral Wells Football Show. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the head coach of the Rams, Coach Cody Worrell, to talk that crazy win and more right here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe.
Terry Bennett back here on the Mineral Well Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Mineral Well Rams, Coach Cody Worrell. And, Coach, first off, congratulations on the win. We always have that cliche of a tale of two halves, but this is literally was a game of a tale of every quarter seemed to be different than the other quarter. This was a wild game.
It was a wild game. We got up on them and we got up on them we got up on them, right up there at the first quarter, and was proud of our kids. The way we scored right there at the end of half to make it a 14-6 game, and then take that and go kick a field goal right there at the beginning of the second half to make it 17-6, and thought we had kind of full control of the game. And kudos to their kids, Eastern Hills kids, man. They played their tails off, and the running back was good player, had a good receiver as well, and they hit some big runs on us and threw it up to that big receiver a couple of times, and they made plays and got right back into the game. And as soon as they took the lead, we come out the first play and had a fumble on the exchange, and they get on it and they go down and score again to make it 16 to, or we're down by 16 at that point. And anyways, our kids, they battled. We were down with 16 points with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left in the game, and we score on our first play from scrimmage, being down by 16, get the 2-point conversion, stop them on defense, and go down and score and get the 2-point conversion again. With just seconds left in the game, and go into overtime, and our kicker had a big kick. Kicked a 40-yarder to win it in overtime. So. We didn't play. Our kids know that we did not play very well. Really, in particular, the last half in the third quarter and the first half of the fourth. Just that quarter alone was just we didn't play very well. Mis-executed a couple of times, both offensively and defensively. And with that being said, our kids found a way to win. So I was super proud of them for that.
Well, I was going to say, as a coach, you get into the minutia of the program and of all the mistakes and what you could have done right. But as just a coach, can you also just step back and appreciate how awesome legitimately this game was. This is one of the best games of the week, just as far as just the action and the up and down, both teams having leads and all that. Are you able to step back and enjoy that part?
No, I told our coaches after the game, I was like, man, that's one of the most craziest games I've ever been a part of ever, and been a part of some really good games and some overtime games, and it just that scenario of things. I know that some people, including family members of mine, turned it off when we got down 16, and here we are coming back and make it a game and find a way to win. It was a great game. I told Coach Anderson at Eastern Hills, I was like, man, what a game. I said, you should be proud of your kids, because they fought back they fought back, and they were down 17-6, and they fought back and ended up being up by 16. And it was just a crazy game in turn of events, and how they the entire game you're right, it was a really, really good football game.
I mean, and this game is just kind of an analogy of what you've been talking about all this year with your injuries and stuff, but just as the program, the resiliency of these guys to not ever feel like they're out of a game, even when they're down 2 scores late in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a bunch of guys going both ways last week, and some of that is because of the injuries, and some guys were got banged up during the game, but man, you're right. We didn't play our best. In a quarter stretch, we felt like, but man, our kids, I'm super proud. I was so proud of them the other night about how they fought back and came out with a win, because we were sitting there, we could have hung our heads down and just quit, and we got a big spark with that one play score, and our kids just fought back.
All right. You get to win, and then you get to turn around and face the teams I think is very underrated as far as 4A Division II, and that's Quinlan Ford. They're 3-0 on the year. They can score a lot of points, but they've given up a lot of points. When you look at the film, what do you think of the Panthers?
Man, very, very sound and very well coached. Their offenses, when you look at them, when you see them on film for the first time, there's, looking at their offensive line, you're just thinking, oh, they're not crazy big. But man, those kids are good football players, and they do an excellent job up front, being where they need to be. Whatever play they're running, their backs block for one another. That's another thing that is very underrated for them. Their backs do exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and the quarterback's the leader. You can tell. He runs the show. He's a big kid, same kid from last year, and defensively, yes, some people might say that they've given up a lot of points, and I guess on paper they have, but their defense plays hard. And a lot of times their offense is scoring so fast, the defense is tired, it seems like. And, that they've had a couple of drives where they score in one play, and their defense is out there, right back out there. So I can understand why, they on paper they've given up some points. But my goodness, when you watch them, their defense is fast. They play hard. They're aggressive. They're very sound, and they're ready to get after you.
You bring up a good point. They're a run-based team. They have a offense, I think they call it the fly tee, and it's kind of a wing tee, slot tee amalgamation, and they'll throw the ball, but they're not really a ball control team. They use the run game for their big plays.
100%. And, when they get up, when they get a big play, they're going to put it in the air, and their quarterback's good. He can. They should do that, because their quarterback's dang good at it. He can throw the ball, and the receivers can catch it, and the receivers are the running backs or their wings or whatever you want to call it. They're tight ends, but they get big plays off their passing game. But it all comes from setting that presence of the run game, and they do it really, really well. Coach Wallace and his staff do really do a fantastic job, both offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe.
As always, I'm going to thank the head coach of the Rams, Coach Cody Worrell, for joining us here on the Jack Powell Ford Mineral Wells Football Show. It's a crazy game. Now it's time to put it to bed. The old 24-hour rule. Of course, they're on the show. It's more of a one-week rule. And I tell you what, this is going to be a tough opponent this week in Quinlan Ford. A few years ago, they went 12-1, and then a bunch of that group graduated, and they've kind of started from scratch, and they've now seniors, this special group. And I think they're legitimately as good as that 12-1 team was. They got a really good quarterback who's big, strong. He can throw. They run the ball a lot, but they throw the ball out of weird formations, and they use their running backs as wings, as wide receivers. It's a potpourri bag of players that can play multiple parts, and that makes it hard for defenses to key in on players. So this is going to be a great test for this Mineral Wells team. And hey, man, we're almost getting ready for district play, folks. Just a few more weeks. You got Quinlan Ford, you got Godley, you got the bye week, and then you're going to start 3-4A Division II against Bridgewood on the road. In fact, the first two games in District 4 Mineral Wells is on the road. Again, we want to thank our sponsor, Jack Powell Ford. Please find him online at jackpowellford.com. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments for the show, all you got to do is email them to me, Terry at s2ssport.com. Until next week, enjoy the football, be safe in your travels, and we'll meet back here for the Mineral Wells Football Show brought to you by Jack Powell Ford.